Davis, California was the first city in America to get the highest platinum friendly bicycle rating because it's got more than 50 miles of bicycle lanes and streets and more than 50 miles of bicycle paths. I was very impressed with this. Uh, I taught urban and regional planning at San Jose State University for more than 35 years. Then I retired in 2010 um, and started pursuing my hobby of bicycling, becoming more knowledgeable in bicycling planning. And in the years since, I've traveled to more than 20 countries bicycling and looking at their bicycle infrastructure and discovered that we really could do things much better in Davis than we are now. And I was particularly surprised by a visit to Hungary 3 years ago to see that they had some protected bicycle tracks right alongside the sidewalks in the downtown. Today we're going to be looking at shopping centers in Davis. We're going to be starting at the Oak Tree Plaza Shopping Center, which now is at Covell and Poline and has a very congested and dangerous parking lot which bicyclists must go through to get into it. There is a long-term plan to put a protected cycle track behind the shopping center. We're at the corner of L and Covell, just north of Claremont. And there is a bike ped path that comes from Central Davis approaching this intersection. My suggestion is that bicyclists be able to cross. I'm going to put a traffic light here, and then they should have a protected cycle track for the 100 feet or so to Claremont. And the long-term plan is to have a protected cycle track along Claremont all the way to Poline. We're at Poline exit from the Oak Tree Plaza Shopping Center. And there's a problem in that we have a bike ped path here that gets very heavy cross traffic from people coming in and out of the shopping center. If we were developing this shopping center new now, we would have a cycle track all along the all along the building's edge here, and people could come into the shopping center and not have to deal with the mess in the parking lot here. If when they first built this shopping center, they had put a protected cycle track here between the sidewalk and the street, then cyclists could pass through and stop, and they would have parking on the right, and they would not have to deal with any of the dangerous mess of going through this parking lot. Unfortunately, if they wanted to put a protected cycle path here now, it would involve a major expense. And unfortunately, Claremont, the street that runs right behind it, is wide enough, and there's plans for a protected cycle path there. Here at the east end of Claremont and Poline, there could be a protected cycle track, two-way, running all the way down. You can see that they have problems with people traveling too fast on this street now. They put in speed humps, which they want people to go down to 15 miles an hour for. The plan would be to move these parked cars out 8 or 10 feet to the left and have a 10-foot two-way protected cycle track with a buffer between them and the parked cars. And then people could enter the shopping center in several places from the back of the shopping center. We're at Claremont, just east of L Street, and this would be the major entrance to the shopping center from the southwest off of Claremont. My hope would be that when they redo L and Covell intersection in the next year, that they would run the cycle track at least up to here, and that they could convince the Oak Tree Plaza shopping center developers to make this a bicycle-friendly way to get into the shopping center. After looking at that, we're going to go down, take the bikeway through the tunnel under the railroad tracks at H Street, go to downtown Davis to the G Street shopping mall, and we will look at how we could put a cycle track across the face, particularly of the northern part of that shopping center. We're in the shopping center off of G Street that contains the Davis Co-op, and the northern half of it is be an ideal setting for a protected cycle path along the edge of the sidewalk. If we remove these parked cars here, we could run a two-way cycle track here, and people could park and then have some parking against the building in various places or at the end, and they could avoid the messy parking situation just to the west of us here. If the vacant lot on the corner could provide additional parking, and particularly ideally the cycle track would be extended through to Sweetbriar Street there, which would then allow you to get onto H Street, which is a very nice bikeway to North Davis. Well, if this turns out to be too difficult to traverse, that the bikeway from North Davis, the cycle track, could go along the front of these shops, and then right here at this driveway go out and cross to G Street. Then we're going to go across on 5th Street, which has been traffic calmed in the last 2 years, to the University Mall and see how it could greatly make a better situation there by having a cycle track across the south face of that mall. University Mall Shopping Center lies between Anderson and Sycamore, just north of Russell. And there's an ideal corridor over much of the south side of this shopping center for a protected cycle path to run just alongside the sidewalk. Here we're at the west end of the University Mall Shopping Center, right where it comes out to Sycamore, which is the busiest bicycle entrance to UC Davis. 1,000 bikes an hour at the peak hour, 4,000 bikes a day. Maybe here, if we had the protected cycle track coming along the south edge of the shopping center, would come out to Sycamore. Maybe we could even have a traffic light here synchronized with the traffic light at Russell and Sycamore. An option for the cycle track to come out to Russell at the west end of University Mall is to have it turn just past the World Market and east of Trader Joe's along the street. And where that car is going, we would make it only one way coming out, and that's where the cycle track would be. And then they would have to transition across here and come on out to Russell. And at Russell, make a right turn. They'd have to take out the 2 zip car parking spots, and then they would be right at the intersection. They wouldn't have to add a new traffic light. Then we're going to proceed up Anderson to the Anderson Plaza Shopping Center and see again how a protected cycle track alongside the sidewalk on the north side of that shopping center could make things safer. We're at the Anderson Plaza Shopping Center at the northwest corner of the Save Mart grocery store. We could run a protected cycle track immediately across the north edge of this shopping center from Sycamore in the background. Ideally, then there would be a 2-way cycle track or bike lane going past the Shell station up to Covell, so people coming in could cut across, and then they could go straight across to Hanover on the eastern part of this shopping center. And then ideally maybe along the west side, that's the shopping center side of Hanover up to Covell. Here at the eastern end of the Anderson Plaza shopping mall, we would have a cycle track come along the north edge of the mall, right along the edge of the sidewalk. And when it gets to Hanover, we would have it proceed along the west side of Hanover up to Covell. You'd have to pull out 6 parking spots, curbside parking spots. And then ideally, you would have a protected cycle track going the about quarter mile to Oak. And at Oak Street is where there is a bike ped path south of Covell, so that people could go from anywhere in North Davis. Once they crossed Covell, they could come to this shopping center without having to deal with any traffic other than at a protected traffic light intersection to cross. We're in here on the south side of Covell, a block east of Hanover, and up to here, the narrow sidewalk has a nice lawn that people could step aside for you to bicycle on. But from here on, there's a wall, and there's not really room for people who are walking to get out of the way of bicyclists. So bicyclists really have to be in the street here. And with all this heavy traffic and speeds and 2 lanes, I think they should surely have a protected bike lane from here on to the traffic light at Oak. Anderson Plaza, we're going to proceed west on Covell to the Marketplace Shopping Center, which has congested parking lot and could greatly benefit from having a cycle track along the face of that shopping center. Now we're at the Marketplace Shopping Center at the intersection of Covell and Sycamore, where there are busy entrances to this shopping center. To allow access from the west, they probably ought to be cutting a path up to the cycle track that I'm looking at, or the bicycle pedestrian track that I'm looking at, so the people from Sutter Hospital or the future possible West Davis active adult community could get access to this shopping center. Bicyclists are heading west on Covell in the unsafe bike lane now. They would have to make a right turn right in front of where that car is just coming in and cross the bike ped path here to get into the shopping center. That's a very, very dangerous maneuver. Even people who are on the bike ped path here wanting to go into the shopping center have to turn right here and have to deal with the cars that are coming from Covell. The traffic circulation problem is very messy inside this shopping center, and the ideal long-term solution of a protected cycle path along the sidewalks may be very expensive and hard to do, but maybe there should be at least some marginal improvements made to the access and egress from the shopping center for bikes, so that they don't have bikes having to share these very dangerous, difficult auto entrances. Deaths to pedestrians and bicyclists dramatically increase as motor vehicle speeds go more than 25 miles per hour. That makes bicycle lanes along roads that have speeds of greater than 25 miles an hour unsafe. If there is a shopping center, the curb cuts are very dangerous for bicyclists, as cars trying to get out of the shopping center parking lot are watching out for cars and may put bicyclists at great risk. I hope this video has been helpful in letting you understand some of the issues about cycling in Davis. Any comments and suggestions would be greatly appreciated. You could email or write me. I'm Earl Boussard in Davis, California, and thank you very much for watching this video.